Welcome to the first ever Coach's Corner here with the New Jersey Titans. My name is Anthony DiPaolo, and I'm joined with the general manager and head coach of the Titans, Craig Doremus. Craig, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so in this inaugural Coach's Corner, we're going to have a quick overview of the season. 21 games in, the Titans are 18-2-1, best in the North American Hockey League. And Craig, the team started out on a 10-game road trip, and the team went 8-2. How big was it to have that kind of start from your players?
I think it was really big for the team. Obviously, it's something that we had put into the works as we were building the schedule. I looked back on the blueprint we had in my first year in New Jersey. We started the year on the road a lot, and I thought for us it brought our team together. It was good for the guys to be in hotel rooms and traveling together, getting to know one another. So for us, it was kind of the recipe that we want to start the year with. Obviously, you know, your backs are up against the wall. It's adversity when you're on the road. It's not smooth and easy. So I wanted to challenge the guys from the onset, and they responded well. Looking back on it now, obviously, with getting that many wins, it was successful. But I also look back on it and see the bonds that were formed and the friendships and the fact that we were able to come out on top in so many games there and learn what it's like to play away from New Jersey has only made the transition back a little bit easier.
And since then, they're 10-0-1 after that road trip. You guys have won 13 of your last 14 games, and you've gotten at least a point in all 14 of those games. So what is going right for the team specifically to have a point streak like this?
I think the biggest thing that we spoke about with the group is obviously we bring back a lot of veteran players. We've added some really good players to the mix this year as well to complement that group. But some of the key points for us has been our maturity. We're never too high. We're never too low. We don't feel like we're ever out of a game, so we continue to battle. We've handled adversity and some really I don't want to say poor decisions for us, but we just haven't played well all the time. But it's never been too much of a hill for us to climb because we're resilient. We stick with it. We don't get too negative on the bench. We kind of stay focused on the task at hand. I think that's been huge for us. Not every game's been pretty. Not every game's been perfect. We've been pushed. We've been challenged for sure. And we've just been able to kind of regain our composure at times, put our best foot forward, and win the next shift, win the next period. We've done that more often than not, and the guys have responded really well, and obviously happy for their success.
Now, it's a combination of familiar faces and new players. With the goaltending situation, we have two new goaltenders with Patrick Puglisi, Arseny Sergeyev, and they've been rotating game in and game out. They've still been – it's the same result where you guys are winning. You have some returning players like Gavin Gulash, Kyle Jeffers, Brody Medeiros. And with this combination of old and young players, what's the chemistry like this season?
I think it all starts with the culture of your dressing room and your organization. I think for us, we set the mission clear here from our player identification purposes and recruiting and scouting in the year before, and getting to know the guys that we bring into our facility. And obviously those guys have assimilated well with the group we have here. Our culture is everything. It's first and foremost before you talk about anything we do on the ice. The way we walk, the way we talk, the way we present ourselves, everyone kind of marches the same way here. I think that's allowed for that assimilation that you speak about to happen here. Same thing with our goaltenders. It's been similar to our lineup. Next man up, whoever's in that day has a job to do. You make sure you take care of it. And again, I think for our team, that's why you look at our success, and I think a lot of it can be attributed to the depth of our lineup, not only from a scoring and defensive standpoint, but also from goaltending. Whoever's called upon that day to get the job done has answered more likely than not. And they've also supported and pushed one another to that point. So for us, it's been really good to see, and it's kind of the plan we had as we went through last year, and we saw what the roster makeup would be going into this year, and obviously carried it through the offseason with our scouting and recruiting process as well.
And one of the biggest stats that jumps out to me is that the team has scored 105 goals through the first 21 games. The next highest was your first year with the team in the 2016-2017 season with 79 through 21 games. So with this offensive explosion this season, what are some of the things that you see differently up front?
For us, it's just been a matter of puck possession. We like to possess it a lot. The way we defend is to get possession back and go on the attack from there. We have some habits and some structure that we believe in, and they're non-negotiable as far as what we do with the puck and how we go about our attack. But make no mistake about it, we have some really skilled young men who have an innate ability to make plays and finish pucks, and all the credit's due to them. They've bought into what we want to do tactically, but at the end of the day, they've been able to beat the other team's goaltender more often than not. And they bought into it. I think with today's generation, they all want to play offense, and obviously points are important for them. So they bought in, and we just give them some ideas and tips on how to do things differently, and they've responded well to it. And again, we've been lucky enough where we have some really good hockey players on our hockey team.
We'll transition that as we talk about this past weekend where the Titans swept the Maine Nordiques. On Friday, they won by a score of 7-5. and on Saturday they won 5-2. On Friday's contest, Mitch Macklett, the team's leading scorer, picked up a hat trick and added 2 assists in that game. How special was his performance?
Listen, Mitch is one of those veteran players who returns this year. Definitely with a little chip on his shoulder. He's a kid who's committed to serve our country at West Point. I think that speaks volumes about his character and who he is as a person. Now, when you translate to what he's been on the ice, Mitch had a great offseason, trained really hard. He knew the expectations for him and responsibility from this year were going to be high from us down to him, and he's responded to it well. Obviously, he's been our leader offensively, and like you said, comes out 5 points the other night. And I think for him, he'll probably tell you he left a couple more on the table. But I think that's what makes him so special is he's so driven. He wants to be a special hockey player, not only for our team, but in the league. And as he goes to West Point next year, wants to make a difference on their campus. Again, for Mitch, he's come in this year, put his head down every day, gone to work, clocked in, clocked out. And I think for him, as with most young men, anytime they get rewarded for their hard work, it only makes it easier for them to buy in and continue to work even harder the next day.
The following day, when they won 5-2, Matt Cameron picked up a goal and 2 assists. He played in the USHL last season. He played the previous year with the Titans in the 2017-2018 season, and he scored 21 goals. And as he comes back, it looks like his offensive game is picked up right where it left off. What do you have to say about his return to the team?
I think Matty was a kid who I spoke about even last year when he wasn't here. He was a New Jersey Titan culture kid. He bought into our program, loved everything we were about. Even the latter part of last year, once his season was over, he came to New Jersey and was hanging around the guys and was around our team. And I thought that really spoke volumes about how much our program meant to him. And he decided to come join us again for this year. Obviously, welcome back, a familiar face. And for us, it was an easy sell for us, right? He's a great kid off the ice, never mind the hockey players on the ice. And for him, it's just a matter of he's comfortable. Obviously here, he knows our style and our structure, how we go about our offense. And for him, he's close with a lot of the guys, right? And I think with so many of these young players, people look too much into it. It's all about confidence, and he has confidence here. And I think anytime players play with that confidence behind them, they're able to probably play even better than they can. Matt's playing with a lot of confidence. We give him a lot of support here. I think his line mates have been excellent for him all year, and they all complement each other very well. So for him, it's just a matter of having fun, working hard at the rink every day. He's another kid with a college commitment, so I think that's important. It takes a little bit of the pressure off his shoulders. He could just focus on player development and growing and obviously helping our team win. And I think the most exciting part for us as we sit here is I don't even think our team's played its best hockey yet. I think there's a lot more for these guys. And again, that's a compliment to how good they really can be.
All right, and we're going to take a quick break. We're going to have our first guest in Coach's Corner with the team captain, Brody Medeiros. So we thank you again for tuning in here to Coach's Corner. We'll have our interview with Brody coming up next.
LaRusso looking for the puck. He chases after it, and now he turns. LaRusso up to Medeiros, winds up, lets it fly. He scores! The Titans have a quick response as Medeiros gives New Jersey a 3-2 lead.
We are here with the first guest for the Titans Coach's Corner, the captain, Brody Medeiros. Brody, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Brody, you're in your second season with the Titans. You're a Colorado native playing in New Jersey, and now you're the captain of the team. How's this year been different than last season?
This year we definitely returned a lot of guys from last year, so we had a good returning group. I think everyone has really been buying in a lot to what Craig and Bob have been trying to instill in us. So, obviously the results are what we want, so we got to keep that up.
And Brody, you've also recently committed to Army. How special is it for you to not only commit to a Division I program, but to West Point Academy?
It's a huge honor. I'm super happy that I get to go there, and it's an incredible honor to get to play hockey there and get to serve my country.
Now, and while we're talking about serving your country, you also represented Team North America in the Series Cup showcase earlier this season, back in September. How special is it to play on an international stage wearing the Stars and Stripes?
Yeah, it was definitely, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and, it's something I take a lot of pride in that I was able to go do that. Can't thank the Titans ownership enough for allowing me to do that. It was just a great experience.
And also, Brody, now that the Titans are in first place, you're heading into a weekend against the Maryland Black Bears, coming off a good performance against the Maine Nordiques. So what's it like in the locker room right now where the team has won 13 of the last 14 games?
Yeah, we definitely are feeling good. we're trying to make sure that we don't ride the highs too high and the lows too low. We're trying to stay even keel and just have a good work week every week, and then really compete Friday, Saturday.
And before those games, though, Thanksgiving weekend is coming up. And Brody, I heard that some of your family members are coming in from Colorado here to New Jersey.
Yeah, my dad will be in town, so it'll be really nice to get to spend that time with him and then with my Bill family as well.
So what's it like celebrating as a Colorado native here in New Jersey for the last 2 Thanksgiving holidays?
Well, luckily for me, I've had a great billet each year, and they've really taken good care of me. So it's been super nice.
All right, Brody, thank you for joining us, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you too, man.
And we welcome you back here to Coach's Corner. I'm Anthony DiPaolo alongside with Craig Doremus. And Craig, looking ahead, the Titans are playing the Maryland Black Bears this Friday and Saturday at Piney Orchard Arena. So what is the team outlook as you head into Maryland, getting ready to face that team?
Well, obviously it's a familiar opponent. We've played them 4 times already this year. I think Clint and Brendan and their staff have done a really good job with that group. They're hard to play against. They have a lethal offensive attack, and you have to be ready to play. Those guys compete. They work hard. They're very sound in their structure. So you have to have your head screwed on straight and ready to work hard, because if you don't, you're going to lose. And for us, first time we'll be back in Maryland since early in the year. So for us, we know that much like us, they've improved. We've improved. We saw them here last week. It was a tough battle in our building. So you can only imagine the compete level they have in theirs. But we're excited by it. It's another opportunity for us. I think they have a lot of Division I committed players, so we know there'll be a lot of eyes on the ice. And we know that as a team that's currently in first place, you're going to get everyone's best shot. And we've talked to the players about that. So I think for us, it's another new opportunity for us to grow and learn from that. And for our group, it's important to go through that. That's where we are right now. We have to learn how to play with it, and it's only going to help our guys as they advance in their careers.
Now, in the 4 games that the 2 teams have faced off against each other, there's been a combined 46 goals. And Craig, I'm starting to wonder, do you just go up to Clint Milamach before the game and just say, let's not play defense today?
Yeah, we both agree. We shake hands and say we're not going to defend at all and just kind of have a run and gun shootout. But no, I don't. I think it's a compliment to both teams and the way they go about their offense and the guys they have on their rosters who are so capable. Both forward groups are so deep, and even on the blue line, so many guys who can move the pucks on both teams. If I had to imagine, Clint's probably talked to his team this week about defending better, much like we have. And as a head coach, it's never perfect for us. Even when we win, there's a lot of times where we want to be better, and for us, we know that we have to be better on the defensive side of it. As we've talked about, our offense has been more than adequate this year, but we have to be sound away from it. We haven't tiptoed around it in the locker room. We know that the old cliche stands true, that defense wins championships. So while we want to maintain what we're doing productivity-wise with the puck, we know that we have to get better away from it.
And the Black Bears have some really talented players like Wilmer Skoog, Luke Mountain, Cameron Recchi, all of whom can really put the puck in the net. What are some of the things that your team will need to do to stop those players?
We have certain principles defensively that we got to stick with. And for us, it's just something that we have to consistently reinforce with our guys and how they play and how they stay focused on it, making sure we stay out of the penalty box. Those guys have a really good power play. So just little things like that. Again, not so much focusing on what they do, focusing on what we do and how we prevent them from getting into their offensive sets and what they like to do.
And Craig, before the games start, it is Thanksgiving weekend. What are your plans as we get ready for the holidays?
Well, I think obviously a little bit unfortunate that we don't get the weekend off. We got to travel down to Maryland early Friday morning. So for me, it's just I'm going to host my family, my wife's family at our house. We'll have a nice night together, and it'll be good to see everyone and catch up. Obviously, in hockey, you don't get much free time, especially during the season. So for us, it's a good chance to kind of hit the pause button for a day and spend the time with my kids, who I don't get to see a lot, and my wife and her family. So it'll be good to catch up with them and chit-chat. Hopefully not talk too much about hockey, and then back on the road here, head down to New Jersey early Friday morning from New York, and head down to Maryland for what I think is going to be a really great weekend of hockey down there.
What do you think it'll be like for the players having their day to themselves?
I think it'll be good. Obviously, these players spend so much time with their billets that they truly do become part of the family. And we're so lucky and fortunate here. I mean, our billets do such a great job. They're such a big part of our program, and I don't think it's coincidental that we're having success because the players are taken care of so well away from the rink. They're comfortable, they're happy. It's truly a family, a home away from home. So for them, I hope it's an opportunity for them to spend some time with those people and reflect on how lucky they are to be here and the opportunities we have in New Jersey. Some of the guys will get an opportunity to go home and see their folks for a day, and I wish we could give them more time off, but I think the exchange for us has been we've always taken a little bit more of an extended holiday break around Christmas. So we'll play Thanksgiving weekend and get after it. It's part of the job in junior hockey. Our guys know what they signed up for. Our staff know what they signed up for. So we'll hit the pause button for one day, and then we'll get back to work on Friday.
What are you most thankful for?
Honestly, the health and happiness of my wife and my kids, and then I tell people all the time, I think I've got one of, if not the best jobs in junior hockey. I'm able to coach at a really good level in a really good building. The ownership's great, and for me to not have to uproot my family and get an opportunity to do this and work with people like yourself every day is special. And let's face it, there's a lot worse things you can be doing in life than coaching the New Jersey Titans. So I'm lucky. I'm a really lucky guy.
All right, and this just about wraps up our first edition of Coach's Corner. Anthony DiPaolo alongside with Craig Doremus. Craig, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.